Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to lesson 1 of module 2, where we talk about the spiritual brain. And as you will recall, I did tell you how important the hypothalamus is to spirituality, the spiritual brain, and the foundations for spirituality going forward. Right, now, if you were to look at the hypothalamus controls so many. It's a little gland in the brain that controls so much within our bodies. Okay, but the ones that interest me more than anything else is that the hypothalamus controls our emotions, our hunger, our thirst, our body temperature, our libido, all the important functions. And it's a gland that is in the middle of the brain. In actual fact, it looks like a butterfly, right? If you can imagine the hypothalamus in the middle of the brain, in the very epicenter of the brain, it looks like a butterfly. And for our exercises coming up on the training videos, I'd like you just to imagine your hypothalamus the shape of a butterfly. It makes it so much easier to imagine that in the middle of our brain is this beautiful, beautiful butterfly, which of course also spiritually means transformation. And that is what we're doing here. We are going to transform your spirituality into something more tangible, into something more real, and thereby using the butterfly to symbolically represent transformation. But let's go back. I digress. I get very excited, guys, when I talk about the brain. So please bear with me. I'm going to bring you right back. So we're talking about the hypothalamus. Now, with many people, spiritual people, they do always say that the pineal gland is the God gland, the connection to the universal power of light. Okay, and I'd like to just show, and maybe not prove this because it's not the type of course to do that, but I will show you how important the hypothalamus is to that spirituality or that spiritual connection. I have found that many people over the years in my psycho-spiritual therapy practice, that when people are suffering from depression, when they're suffering from anti-anxiety, and amongst many other psychotherapies that are going around or psycho problems going around, the hypothalamus really is the player. That really is the very crux of where a lot of psycho issues come from. Okay, all your doctors, your mental practitioners, psychiatrists, they all look at other areas of the brain, forgetting about the function of the hypothalamus. Now, if you find that you're under stress in your job, in your marriage, in your relationship, at work, in business, you will find that the hypothalamus is that little gland that is taking all the punishment and thereby knocking out your hormones, knocking out your body temperature. Have you been going through where other people are wearing t-shirts and you need a jersey because you're feeling cold, or vice versa? If you look at that, you should already know by then that the hypothalamus is playing the game. Then stress comes into your life, you don't want to eat properly, your eating habits go out the window. Again, we look at the hypothalamus, the libido. You go home, you want to be loving, you want to be with your partner, and you just don't have the energy for it because of stress. Now, the hypothalamus is in control of all this. And on top of it, the hypothalamus is, to me, the king of all spirituality. It's where I teach you how to connect, and you'll see as we go along and how we connect with the hypothalamus, and we ask the universal light, the universal power to come into this. And you'll see in the very next lesson, where I start with the exercises, exactly how this works. And until then, stay real, and we'll catch up later in the next lesson, where we're going to talk about the heart brain and then eventually how we tie this all up. So until then, enjoy it, and I'll see you later.